I want to tell you one thing that's going to free you up today. If you take nothing else from the video, take this. You will never read enough. Don't consume yourself with the idea that I have to read everything. Your goal is just to be able to have what we might refer to as saturation and really being able to answer this one question. Who are the leading scholars on my topic? What has their work explored? And how do I see my dissertation making a unique contribution to the scholarly literature? If you can answer that question, you've done enough. A dangerous and often tricky trap in the dissertation process is the I need to just read one more article. It's a fallacy. It's so easy to fall into this trap because there's no model or assessment to tell you when you've read enough. You think you've been thorough, but this can actually be a form of procrastination. Like me as a doctoral student, I love to read, and you probably love to read too. But if you know one thing, if you're trying to write a literature review, there's going to get to a point where you have to put the books in the articles and put the PDFs down or put them back in their virtual, box, and then you have to start writing. But for many doctoral students, it can be a challenge to take all those resources that have been read over years and distill them into a literature review for your dissertation. And what I found is that there's often three large mistakes that doctoral students make when trying to write the literature review. And in this video, I'm going to walk through those three so that you have a strategy in order to think through this. And if you like this content around the literature review, I want to invite you to a workshop that we are hosting at the end of February, on February 25th, 2026. It's called the Find Your Gap Literature Review Workshop, where we will go more in depth about how to write and conceptualize the literature review. If you're interested in learning more, you can go to www.thedonedissertation.com/lit review. And I will pull up a QR code here on your screen so that if you want to go directly to the page to secure your ticket to the workshop, you can do so directly. Again, in this video, I'm going to be able to kind of cover broadly some of these concepts, but when we're at the workshop, we'll go in depth about the things that you all are working on so we can get some insights about how to write the literature review. And for those of you just tuning in, my name is Dr. Ramon Goings. I'm founder of Done Dissertation, and we have helped over 150 doctoral students write and defend their dissertation in a record time. And so I'm excited to go into today's conversation because I want us to really start thinking about how do we make progress and think through this literature review. But one of the things that I want us to consider is that there are, again, three mistakes that you make. And I want to bring us to the board for real quick to kind of talk through what one of the first ones might be with your literature review. And so let me pull up my board. And so one of these that I often see doctoral students make when they're trying to, think through the literature review is what I would kind of talk about as the summary versus synthesis. And the summary versus synthesis is a dilemma because for a lot of you all, you may have started to get feedback on your writing that you are doing more summarizing than synthesizing. And so I want to talk about what does that mean when someone says that to you? Because a lot of times, I think this is one of the things that trips up a lot of students is like you think you're doing a literature review right when you have done a good job of reading the articles and like understanding what needs to be said, but sometimes it's about how you write it up. And so I'm going to go to a Word document just to show you like how I would think through this as a doc student. So if I'm writing, let's say for instance, this is typically what we would see when someone is summarizing. So typically when someone is summarizing, here's how your sentence might look. And I'll make this text a little bit larger for us as well. So and zoom in so we all can see. So when we are summarizing the literature, here's what is happening. This is typically what you will say. These are some of the phrases I see. According to, I'm going to say, Goings 2026, XXXXX, whatever the study was about. Or you might just start off a sentence saying, Goings 2026 stated, da da da. I'll give you an example of Goings. I don't know. Let's see. Goings 2026 argued, let's say, for instance. I see these a lot in this type of, in our literature review writing. There is nothing wrong with doing this, right? There's nothing wrong, but this is indeed summarizing when you are going about doing it this way. Because in what I would want you to do, and one of the challenges I would have for you is to actually take a look at your writing right now, right? Take a look at something that you're currently working on. And what I want you to do is consider taking a look at the writing and then looking to see How many sentences in a row do you have phrases like that line up where it says, according to so and so, going 2026, it reads like this, going stated, whatever the authors you're referring to. I want you to look at your actual document. How often do you see this? If your literature review is kind of, plague has a lot of these where it's over and over and over again, that is you doing summarizing. Don't get me wrong, that is a component of writing a literature review, but it's not the only part. And so, with that, sometimes we're missing the synthesis component. And so, I'm just going to give a quick example. If I had to then go to the and synthesize, what we might say if we're trying to synthesize here is that, let's see here, what this might look like is that we might say, let's see, scholars have, and I'm gonna use my work 'cause on Black men because it's easiest for me to kind of get to at the moment. Scholars have contemplated the why children in grades 6 through 8 struggle with math. We give it our sentence, we give it a grand tour, and we might cite Smith 2025. Maybe there's some other folks, I don't know, Zebra 2024, just for example. Now, we might say, for example, Smith 2025 explored A, B, and C and found XYZ. Now, you see how we go from having sentences that, start off with just according to or whatever it is. We first try to give our, what we would say, like grand tour of this paragraph. Like, what are we going to actually be talking about? And then give an example from the literature. And then when you've done these two well, then you're able to talk more about and talk in your voice about what do these findings all mean? But for a lot of us, we often write our literature reviews solely focusing on summarizing the literature, but we're missing such a key component. And what we'll talk about during the workshop is a four-step process that you can use in order to write better literature reviews. Again, it's a framework that builds on each other. And I want to share that with you during our workshop. And I think this is really important, but I want to give you kind of a precursor to what we're going to talk about because I think the synthesis versus the summary aspect of the literature review is one of the biggest pieces that holds a lot of students up. And if it's for you and you have questions about this, let us know in the comments because that will be stuff that we will help to tailor the workshop. But also, I will put out future content related to the literature review because if I had to say of all the chapters that students struggle with the most, and the one I get the most questions about is the literature review. But it starts with the summary versus synthesis. For a lot of us, because of how we write possibly papers for class, maybe we haven't gotten feedback when we were in our coursework, but when we get to the dissertation, professors are looking at the writing a lot differently, and sometimes it's hard to adjust. And so just know that may be what you're experiencing, and that's okay. But again, that is something that you want to get a hold of now so that when you go to sit down to write, it comes out smooth and the synthesis and summarizing is there. It's going to be both of those happening, but we want to make sure that's you're able to do both well. And so, if you're interested, again, we're going to go through this in depth at our literature review workshop. It is happening on February 25th, 2026 from 8 to 9:30 p.m. You can scan the QR code that is here on your screen, or you can go to the donedissertation.com/lit review. And on our website, there'll be like a yellow bar on top of the website to register for the workshop as well. And if you're finding us on LinkedIn or somewhere else, just feel free to send a message. I'd be happy to send you the link if you can't find it, and we'll put it in the comments as well. So again, I hope this is helpful to start thinking through how you're going to approach writing your literature review. So first things first, we have to make sure that we are engaging and have it right where we understand the synthesis versus summary. Now, once we get that together, the next component that I see that often gives students a challenge, and that's usually a mistake students make, is what I would say is like a lack of voice. This is a tough one because for so long as a student, you have been taught to write literature reviews by like making sure you cite everybody's sources, make sure you cite everyone. You don't want to plagiarize. And of course, that is very important. But it comes to a point when you're writing your dissertation literature review that you are trying to insert your voice into the conversation. This doesn't mean that you don't cite accordingly and do all those things, but there is a way to weave and integrate your voice into the scholarly conversation. And so, to give an example of this, right? If we go back to our Word document and just in that short example that I gave here, when we were just talking about, how to synthesize. So let's say, for instance, we wanted to take things up a notch, and we have our grand tour kind of discussion and sentence here. That is coming from you. That's part of you adding your voice. So your voice doesn't always have to be saying "I argue" or "I contend" or something like that. This is also another route that you can go to insert your voice into the conversation. So in this case, we have our first sentence: scholars are contemplate why children in grades 6 through 8 struggle with math. For example, Smith yada yada found, and then this is how we take it up a notch to really insert our voice. As a result, as scholars look to improve, I don't know, the math math achievement of these students, they should also consider how the 2020 pandemic impacted them academically when they, I don't know, were in first and second grade. Now, this last sentence is kind of like our ability to take what we have talked about in literature. We gave our examples to support our kind of our context for the paragraph, but then we're able to take it up a notch. This is coming from me as the author. Again, this is a quick example, just off the cuff, but this is something that we are doing in the writing. If you look at great academic writers, they are doing this. Um, and it's a formula to it for sure. Everyone has their own style to implement, but there is indeed a formula. We're going to talk about that formula during our literature review workshop so that you know how to actually apply these things. But this is really important to consider because a lot of us, what we do is that sometimes we, in our writing, we may first start out just summarizing everything according to author stated, or argued. Some of us may get to a point where maybe we have this first sentence, and maybe we get to a point where we're able to add an example. But a lot of times, this part is missing, and because you got to think about the intent of the literature review. The intent of the review is to actually showcase one, your comprehensive understanding of the literature, but then the idea that you see where the conversation is, and then you have insights about where does the conversation need to go. Your whole literature review is really to set up the context about what do we know about your topic prior to you sitting down and writing this work. And a lot of us miss that point, and we're just thinking that our job in the literature review is just to recite everything that's been written. And that is indeed not the case. And that's a huge mistake that a lot of us are making, and partly why you may be struggling with your literature review. And if you've gotten any feedback that says, hey, you're doing summarizing, or this is not, I don't see your voice in this conversation, that's what's happening. I literally just had to give this feedback to one of a student. I'm on their dissertation committee, and I was reviewing their work. And my comment to them in the literature review was like, hey, I see you've done a good job of like pointing out what these studies are talking about. But how do we bring that whole conversation together? That is a step that takes your literature review up a notch. And on our literature review workshop, I'm going to share the formula on how to do this. Again, I don't have the time to go in depth in this video, but we're going to do this on the workshop. We'll be together for about 90 minutes to really like dig deep into how do you implement and think through this literature review writing process. But again, this is really important. It's something that we don't consider and we forget about quite often. And again, if you're interested in learning more about the Lit Review Workshop, you can scan the QR code that is here on your screen to get access to the workshop and secure your seat. Would love to see you virtually in person to ask questions around your lit review. Again, we want to make this. I'm always at Dungeon Station trying to make things practical for you all that you can easily implement and have an execution with. So if you want to be there, make sure you grab your ticket. So now, if we come back to kind of what we've talked about so far, we have talked about first understanding the synthesis versus summary situation. Then the next part that I often see is one of the mistakes that doc students are making is around the lack of voice in their writing. The last one is that, and this is one that is a tricky one because it can happen so fast and you don't even know it. And what we would kind of refer to this as scope creep. And what scope creep looks like is that you might be in a situation where you're writing about one topic, but because of the topic may have tentacles to it, It may veer you off into other areas. And I'm going to give an example for one of our clients. We had our office hour call yesterday. And one of the things we talked about, the students doing work on trauma with teachers. And what we talked about, and they found it was really easy to go off on a tangent because even though they were focused on teachers, they said there's all this literature written about trauma in students. And we talked about in depth like how to think about using the teacher literature to shine a light on students to say teachers are experiencing trauma, they're helping students navigate trauma, but have the conversation focused on the teachers themselves versus it being on the student. It's so easy to have this creep, and especially you all if you're doing like interdisciplinary work or work where you're trying to bring other bodies of literature in your area together. It can be very easy to go off on these tangents, but this is going to be really important to understand the scope creep. And one of the things that I found from a lot of you all is that when you're doing the reading on your work, you feel like you have to synthesize and incorporate every piece of literature on your topic. I want to tell you one thing that's going to free you up today. If you take nothing else from the video, take this. You will never read enough. Again, I will say it again. You will never read enough. Let that free you. That's no longer the goal. You can't read everything. Honestly, I am 10 years removed from earning my doctorate at the time of this recording. And literally, there is still work that's coming out consistently on my topic. I see dissertations citing my work all the time. So there's always things that I could catch up on, but you're just not going to be able to catch up on everything. There's constantly work coming out. So don't consume yourself with the idea that I have to read everything. Your goal is just to be able to have what we might refer to as saturation and really being able to answer this one question: who are the leading scholars on my topic? What has their work explored? And how do I see my dissertation making a unique contribution to the scholarly literature? If you can answer that question, that's really what's happening in your lit review. If your lit review gets at that, you've done enough. And you've read enough at that point when you really understand enough of the literature to be able to answer that question. This is really one of the things that you all have to consider when you're thinking through the literature review process. I want to give you again just a quick snapshot of the situations that we see oftentimes students kind of dealing with. And just to recap, making sure that we understand the summary versus synthesis dilemma. Then making sure that we get through kind of inserting our voice into the conversation. And then lastly, making sure we don't have scope creep where we are taking more and adding more onto the work than is necessary. And this is one of the things that we will talk more about during our literature review workshop. And if you're interested in learning more and coming to the workshop, you can go to www.thedonedissertation.com/lit review, or you can scan the QR code that is here on your screen. And one of the things, and you might be in a situation where like you need support and the workshop will be helpful, but you need someone to actually look at your work, provide tangible hands-on feedback, and like actually walk you through not only the literature review, but getting through the dissertation process wherever you are. You can even be past the literature review. If you've gotten to that point and you recognize like, hey, I could benefit from some extra support and know that I need a solution that will help me finish quickly because I don't want to finish out this year without having earned my doctorate. If you're in that boat, I would invite you to learn more about our Velocity coaching program. It is a coaching experience designed to help you write and defend your dissertation in record time. And so if you want to learn more about what we do in our Velocity program, you can go to www.velocitydissertation.com. And again, I hope this was helpful. And I hope this is a way for you all to start thinking through this lit review. And best believe you will see the next video from us at Done Dissertation will be a part 2 of this because this is just one aspect of the lit review. But I know there's more to it that as doctors we're struggling with. And so in our next video next week, what I want you to do is stay tuned because I want to talk about part 2 of this about how do we get through and overcome these mistakes and so that you can write your literature review in record time. With that said, my name is Dr. Ramon Goings, founder of Done Dissertation. And I want to say thank you so much for watching this episode. Again, if you like this, make sure you share this video wherever you are on whatever platform you're watching this with. And if you're on our YouTube channel currently watching, please hit the subscribe button. At the time of this recording, we are 8 students short and 8 subscribers short of 2,000 subscribers. It would mean the world to me if we can get 8 more folks to subscribe. And if you're watching this after the fact, we may be close to 3,000. So make sure you hit the subscribe button to help us reach our goal to get in front of more doctoral students so they can get this information. And with that said, I want to say thank you so much, and I wish you a done dissertation. Take care.